I think there's going to be a time that you can just replay everything that happened. I just walked in here and it's like a million cameras, and because I have my GPS, I can claim all the images that I'm on.
Open data is something that I had been militating on behalf of for quite a few years now, and I'm happy to report that I believe in a lot of senses that's a battle that's been fought and won. There are not many municipalities out there at the moment, from my perspective, that seem like they don't understand the value to them in opening up their municipal data streams and in making access to that free and equally available.
The Germans have their very special problems with open data. They, as you might know, have their personal history of, like surveillance, like from World War II or with the former GDR. So they're a bit, precautious about their data.
And I love that that the Amsterdam government is supporting us so much with the open data, and they have so much data that no government worker is even looking at, but it's very precise and very huge actually. And the hacker community actually convinced them, say that's very valuable for us and can be very valuable for you if we do something with it. And they were convinced and they opened it.
I've heard a lot of talks about licensing. I've heard a lot of talks about and debate on whether there will be any risk involved in opening these data sets, and who should get paid and who will be the owner of these data sets.
I think we have to open up, but keep track on what people consuming data will do with it, because not everybody is on this world for noble purposes.
I think that if you give more people access to anything, then besides the bad thing, more good is coming out. You see it all the time. You see it when people had computers good enough to make a good recording, more people started making good music. Also bad music, but also good music.
But we're working on it.
And if you take that to data, then I think, WikiLeaks is the example, and there's many more. That if you give data to many people, then they will do things that you could have never done alone.
Taking WikiLeaks into the debate of open data for me, it's a bit silly, because it is private data which has been exposed. There are people that think that's a good thing, there are people that think that's a bad thing, but it is not so much to do with the open data movement. It is not so much to do with what the practical implementation of open data.
If you visualize something, for example, like the cabs in a city, all of a sudden you see the neighborhoods where cabs don't go, which are the most dangerous neighborhood or the poorest neighborhoods, or you see where they're going all the time. So I think things like that are quite interesting. The more and more you can make the data of a city visible, the more you get a sense of your connectedness to other people. The sense that because people are often quite lonely actually in cities. So making ways for people to see the life right now in a city is quite lovely.
As an architect and as an urbanist, I'm quite interested in some of the projects which have allowed people to give feedback about, say, the public space in their city. That's becoming quite a common thing that it's used for, to identify spaces in the city that only local people can really know about. Only they are really aware of the potentials of those spaces. They know what's in the neighborhood, they know what they could do to change it. And so, it's suddenly it's become easier to make use of that capacity.
We had some competitions here with some parking data, for instance. One of the apps calculated your carbon emission if you would go to that city from where you are right now, calculate your parking fee, tell you what difference would be between in price in taking the public transport system instead of the car, and then had a nice little donate button where you could donate the difference in the amount that you would save by not parking in an expensive parking city like Amsterdam, and you could donate it to a good cause. That's just something that they come up with in a day or a day and a half. So give us some time and give us data, and we will make stuff with it.
The city has thousands, millions of sensors. In other words, it can feed incredible context for us. Like, where is my friend right now? I want to know that. I want to find that out. The city, as a matrix of sensors, can provide that information. And the city as an interface, it's really what we're talking about is the city, or the places that we live within a city, providing the interface.
Yeah, I mean, open data is like the future. Maybe will be some struggle about what will be the private sphere, what will be public. I think these dichotomy will vanish over time.